This video, before I get started with the series, which I'm going to be uploading soon on over 2.5 goals and my journey to trade purely over 2.5 goals with a hell of a lot of stats for every league you can imagine and why I'm choosing that approach, all the ins and outs of what I'm traditionally known for uploading videos about. I wanted to do a little bit on mindset. Now, this is probably the last time you're going to see much of my face on a YouTube video. I haven't uploaded for a couple of years, or well, probably not quite that long. And that's because of mindset, and it's because I haven't been in the right sort of place to trade. And I think it's very important that we all are self-aware and admit to ourselves when we're not in a good place to trade on football, to bet on football, whatever it is you choose to do, because it's going to lead to bad decisions. Ultimately, whatever strategy you've got, you can have the best strategy in the world, you can do all the research in the world. If at the point of coming to trade those selections, you're not in the right frame of mind, I don't mean it doesn't have to be clinical depression, as I've suffered with. It doesn't have to be a diagnosed mental health disorder. It can just be as much as you've woke up in the morning, got out the wrong side of bed, someone's pissed you off, you're in a bad mood, you've got chores to do that you don't want to do, you've had an argument with your partner, whatever, just day-to-day stresses. If that is the case and it comes to a point where you need to trade or you want to trade a selection that you've identified, just maybe have a little bit of clarity and have a think, am I in the right frame of mind to do this? Because ultimately it will just lead to bad decisions. And what I mean by that is, if you're, for example, doing an over 2.5 goals trade, you've got an entry point, maybe for me I like to go in around 20 minutes if the stats stack up, and that's for another video. But so you enter a trade and you know that you're going to monitor the in-play stats, you're going to see how the game progresses. If it goes according to plan, you've got a time when you might want to exit. If a goal is scored, for example, you might want to green up, or you might want to take out the liability, whatever you want to do. But then you've also, more importantly, you've got exit strategies, which you should always have if you're trading. And so an exit strategy might be, if I get to half time and the game hasn't had a goal, I'm going to exit, take a loss and move on to the next trade. That could be your exit strategy. Now, if you're not in the right frame of mind, if you're in a bad mood, if you've got things playing on your mind, if you see a couple of easy chances missed in the first half and that anger's building because you've already put yourself in a bad position by trading in a bad mood or in a bad state of mind, a couple of goal line clearances, someone hits the post and the rage starts to get you. God's sake, there's a goal, but there's a goal coming. Look, you're not wanting to accept defeat on that trade because you're not in the right frame of mind. You're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking like a trader. You're thinking emotionally. I need a win. I'm in a bad mood. I need a win. I need something to cheer me up. I'm going to carry on with this trade. There's going to be a goal. I can't let this beat me. This so-and-so pissed me off. This isn't going to piss me off as well. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to stay in the trade. Gets to 60 minutes, still no goal. And you're raging. You've lost all your stake because you're not going to get anything back. So you stay in. Or, even worse, your mind goes into overdrive and you think, I'm going to correct that. Right, okay, so there's no over 2.5 goals, but I reckon there'll be at least a goal in the next 10 minutes. There's 20 minutes left. We can put an over 1.5 trade on at odds above evens, then I'll get my money back. And there's definitely going to be one goal. My stats beforehand told me there's going to be one goal. You can see how this is snowballing and spiralling, and it's just bad decision upon bad decision. And all that can be tracked back to the fact that you were not in the right frame of mind to be trading that selection at the time. Now, this might be specific to me. This is what I experienced a couple of years ago, and which is why I stopped trading and I stopped making videos, because I couldn't engage with anything, to be honest. But I certainly didn't want to put myself in a position where I was making videos, which led me to build more strategies and want to trade, knowing that I'm not in the right frame of mind, because it's just sort of putting temptation in your way. And I realised that I wasn't being a good trader. So it might be niche, it might be specific to me, but I suspect it's not. And it's about being aware. So obviously the wider picture is it'd be good if we could all be aware of our emotions and our feelings and our mental health, our situation, talk about it, get help. That's perhaps for another video for somebody more experienced, well no, not experienced unfortunately, but somebody more medically trained maybe than me, I don't know. That's not what you're tuning for, is it? But I think when it comes to football trading, I think we can talk about that, and I can definitely tell you that it's not a good look to be trading when you're not mentally sound. So you might get the odd bit of sort of deviation in your trading patterns and the sort of the skill that you trade at from time to time based on micro changes in your mood. You can't control every single thing. I'm not saying you've got to be completely crystal clear and on the top of your game every time you place a trade, but if you noticeably know that you're having a bad day, and we can all identify it for whatever reason, if you're feeling anxious, if your heart rate's a bit higher than it normally is, if you're just feeling pissed off with the world, just stop and think, should I let this trade go until I feel a little bit better, come back to it and start again? Because all that's going to happen is you're going to lose money, right? That's not good. But also you're going to stop yourself from potentially finding good strategies and good long-term profits. You're going to write them off because you're going to trade in a bad mood. You're going to make losses because you're making wrong decisions and not exiting when you should be, or doing whatever it is you should be doing. So you're going to lose out on what could be a profitable strategy because you've traded when you shouldn't have been trading, and then you're going to go back to the drawing board and say, well, that strategy didn't work. I lost loads of money last week and the week before doing that, but it was actually more to do with your mindset than the strategy itself. So it's sort of like throwing the baby out of the bathwater. So you need to make sure that you're giving your strategies the best chance. So as I say, you can have all the research in the world, you can have all the entry points, exit points, all the historical data, all the in-play cues, but if you're not giving your strategies the chance to fulfill their potential because the mindset isn't right, then you're putting yourself behind the eight ball and you're not going to be able to make any profits. So I could go into this a lot deeper, and I would in the future if anyone was interested in it, but I really think that it's important, before I start this series of videos about my trading and the journey that I'm going to go on, a bit of fun, to be honest. I'm enjoying it again, so I'm just going to sort of document it. I want people to be aware that this is before all of that, before any strategy, before doing any research, before what stats should I be looking at, sort of, you know, what percentages are we looking at for this stat, what teams are good, what leagues are good. Before any of that, this is always above that. Make sure you're in the right position and then look at the actual football detail. So yeah, not a long video, just wanted to throw that out there, put that on, pin it to my page, and just make sure that people are aware of all that. Take care and good luck.